It's your boy DVD back again with another edition. So, guys, yesterday someone DM'd me and is asking about natural emission. So, natural emission is similar to you having a wet dream, but basically, you're basically on a normal path. So, you've already on semen retention for a long time, you're doing cold showers, doing everything right, but you still have a natural emission or basically wet dreams. I'm going to break it down to you and show you through a book and through my explanation why this occurs, yeah? So I'm going to show you the book. Cool. The book that we're going to be reading from is called Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits is a very important book if you're on your personal development journey or self-improvement journey, because it literally tells you how habits are formed and how you can create new habits and create new systems. Now, the page that we're going to be reading from is from page 31, yeah? We're going to be talking about outcome-based habits. So a lot of individuals, when they're trying to change their lives, what they do, they say, listen, I'm going to do X, this, that, and it's going to lead to this result. Now, what that does, you're basically just focusing on all your problems in your subconscious mind, because you're saying, all I have to do is this, all I have to do is that. But what you're doing is focusing on your problems subconsciously. For example, if you go skiing, there's a weird phenomenon. When you go skiing and you focus on not hitting the tree, eventually you're going to hit the tree. And you see, the funny thing about this is very similar to people who are on this semen retention journey. Is like they say, cool, I'm not gonna have a wet dream, I'm not gonna watch pornography or X-rated movies, but by you keep thinking about it, you're planting it into your subconscious mind. Now, there's another type of people, which are identity-based people or identity-based habits. So basically, they embody this new persona. Just like David Goggins. David Goggins, he calls his alter ego Goggins. Now, his alter ego is who does all of the challenges. Basically, he becomes this new character for this new challenge. Now, what am I saying here? If you want to become a better person, for instance, let's say you want to become an athlete, you're going to watch, let's say you want to become a basketballer, you're going to watch Kobe Bryant, you're going to watch LeBron James, you're going to watch, what's the other called? Michael Jordan. Cool. You're going to watch Michael Jordan. Now, you're going to emulate their style. You're going to copy their patterns. You're going to literally follow their systems. Then you're going to do it over and over again, which is going to cause muscle memory. And then eventually, you're going to identify yourself as a basketballer. The same thing is that when you're on this self-improvement journey, eventually, you're going to have to identify yourself as this new character that you're trying to be. By you focusing on all of the habits and trying to not repeat those habits, eventually you're subconsciously going to attract those habits back into your mind. Now, by you doing so, what happens is that when you go to sleep, where you're most vulnerable, your subconscious mind will take over. And then this is how people trigger bad responses. Now, he had a list where he was checking off. Each day he was having this natural emission. But what he didn't know, by him doing so, he's going to trigger his subconscious mind when he's sleeping, when he's at his most vulnerable state, which would then alter him to have wet dreams. So you can literally be doing everything. You can be having cold showers, you can be eating good, you can be doing everything. But if you keep focusing on not trying to have a natural emission, not trying to have wet dreams, not trying to relapse, even by you focusing even for 1 minute, 2 minutes every single day, eventually you're going to trigger these cues in your subconscious mind, because you need to understand that you haven't created new neurological pathways that are stronger than the old pathways that you already had for many years. Because you need to understand, you've been doing those acts for many years. So they're deep engraved into your psyche. So the only way for you to embody this new pathways that you're trying to create is by you letting go of your old self. You completely forget that identity and create a new identity. So I'm going to read this. It says, most people begin the process of changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. This leads to outcome-based habits. The alternative is to build identity-based habits, with this approach, we start to focus on who we wish to become. Now, I'm going to show you something. Cool. And I need you to read this carefully. It says, imagine two people resisting a cigarette. When offered a smoke, the first person says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. Keyword, I am trying to quit. It sounds like a reasonable response, right? But this person still believes that they're a smoker deep down in subconscious. That's what people don't understand. By you saying these things, deep down in your subconscious, you're still giving hope to that parasite to take over. Cool. But this person still believes that they're a smoker trying to be something else. They are hoping that their behavior would change while carrying on the same beliefs. Keyword beliefs, your mind. The second person declines by saying, no thanks, I am not a smoker. It's a small difference, but this statement signals a shift in identity. Basically, he's become a new character. Now, we're going to read from here. The ultimate form of intrinsic motivation is when a habit becomes part of your identity. It's one thing to say, I'm this type of person who wants this. It's something very different to say, I am the type of person who is this. By you embodying this new person, ultimately you will not have those emissions, which I'm going to break down now. So you need to understand, the subconscious mind is very powerful. So you can literally say your old pathways are like parasites. Now, what does a parasite do? A parasite plays dormant or dormant. What dormant means, basically, it plays dead. It tricks you into believing that, yeah, you've got rid of the parasite. Now, when you're at your most vulnerable state, i.e. sick, i.e. tired, i.e. sleeping, exhausted, those triggers, which you thought you've overcome, will kick in. Now, the way you as an individual can defeat this is by you tricking your mind, similar to mind control, self-hypnosis. This is what I was telling you about self-hypnosis. David Goggins said, they don't know me, son. When you saying these things into your subconscious, you're basically adopting a whole new character. And now when you adopt a whole new character, you basically become kind of crazy. It's like split personality, like MK Ultra, where this person, which is weak, soft, incel, individual who doesn't grow, now becomes a new version of yourself. And when you become a new version of yourself and you repeatedly act in this new character, eventually your brain will know the difference. So by you keep revisiting those old pathways in your mind, especially before going to sleep, you are going to trigger responses in your subconscious mind, which will cause you to relapse. Now, you need to understand, not relapse, have wet dreams. You need to understand the wet dreams are basically your body signaling you to relapse eventually, because it's like a parasite. For instance, let's say someone is a lean addict, someone is a drug addict. When they get off the drugs, what's the very first thing that happens? They have withdrawal syndrome. What's the withdrawal syndrome? Which can last for 1 day, 2 days, a week, a month, even longer than that. Their body starts to get hot. What happens? They begin to shiver. They begin to feel sick. They begin to vomit. Now, why does this happen? It's their body tricking them back into taking those substances. Because the very moment they take those substances, guess what happens? They feel better. All of those illnesses, all of that fever disappears. So meaning they wasn't sick, it was an illusion. Now, what created the illusion? You can say that this is similar to a parasite or parasitic entity. These parasitic entities are demons, or you can call it succubus. This is what I was telling him. It's like a succubus. A succubus and a parasite are similar. These entities or these spirits or these energies trick you by making you weak, by making you vulnerable, and by making you do things which will ultimately trigger you to go back into your old pathways, because the brain is the biggest trickster. The brain wants comfort. The brain wants you to go back to what is the norm. This is why they said you can't teach old dogs new tricks. What they mean by that, you cannot train or change some people's neurological pathways because they've been so engraved into their psyche that it's nearly impossible to change those habits. Now, obviously, you're still young, you're still lucky, because the prefrontal cortex, everything is still developing, so you can ultimately still change your brain and you can still rewire your pathways. Because when you're older, it's a bit harder because your brain is fixed. Now, what you ultimately need to do as an individual is create an alter ego. You need to create a new character, and you need to walk in that character with strength and walk in that character with majesticness. This is why all these motivational speakers, all of these people saying you need to self-hypnotize yourself into becoming a new version and letting the old go. But before you let the old go, you need to accept it, because sometimes people feel sorry for themselves. They say, I feel weak, man. I'm pathetic. No, you're not pathetic. That's the old you. The old you, he needs to go. He was pathetic. This is why you have people like, what's it called, Hamza. They talk about I forgot the name of the two characters, but you have the weak character and then you have the other character. You need to create this new character in your mind. By you creating these new characters in your mind, you will ultimately embody that. And when you embody it, it becomes your identity and you become a new person. So this is what I wanted to share so you guys can really grasp, because I'm going to be posting more videos today, and I'm going to be posting more videos on my Patreon today because of it's showtime. Let's go.